Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a bronze, I suppose technically silver at the time, Zarya. As I understand it, this was the demotion game for a mostly main tank player. That's okay, I'm sure they can get it back on main tank, but let's see if we can help out their Zarya as well. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join the Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have, all of that good stuff. Okay, so we're setting up with our Zarya. Are you going to go up for an early right click? You are. Mm-hmm. A little close at this point, given the situation. Fine. No, you're way past done. You're way past done. So as soon as you use your bubble, you're on a timer. So the way this works, you're here. You can be fairly aggressive right now. This is too aggressive, but you can be fairly aggressive right now because your bubble is still available to you. Would have been nice to catch that nade and mine combo that's coming in front of the Rhine Shield with your personal bubble. That would have been optimal. But now you get knocked forward and you reasonably react with your bubble like, oh shoot, I'm in danger. I got pushed forward. I'm going to pop my bubble. It's unfortunate. There's not going to be any follow-up damage. I get it. But you're done. You were actually done here. You don't also need to shoot at this because you're going to back up from this trap. You're not going to walk forward into this trap. And in no situation are you or your team really going to walk forward into this trap unless you're already pushing the enemy team back. Like, this is a super obvious trap. You would much rather your weapon be focused here, be a right click over here, be putting some pressure on them. Whatever. If there's no target, fine, you're backing up. You need to be backing up, though, the instant that this bubble is over, if not before. So, like, we look at this, backing up, good, good. Why are you going forward again? You don't have your personal bubble anymore. You no longer have a reason. It's not that you don't have a reason. You no longer have the necessary tool to stay aggressive like this. You're missing 100 health. You don't have your bubble. You don't know exactly how far your Rhine backed off, which, by the way, is too far for you to be where you are. You can't be going, hey, I'm going to stay this aggressive. I'm going to stay not with cover, not with my Reinhardt, when you don't have your bubble anymore. When you have your bubble available, be aggressive. When you use your bubble, you can continue to be aggressive for a little bit. But as that bubble's ending, or when you don't have your bubble, you have to play a bit more passive. You have to play a little more with your cover, or a little more with your Reinhardt. Yeah, you're pushing way up past that choke without tools. Did this game demote them to Braun? That's so sad. Can we get 50 temporal face palms? You're not going to get 50 face palms. Come on. My face palms are rarer than that. We're not going to devalue face palms like that. Okay, so we want to go ahead and be facing the opponent. Like, yes, we'll move a little slower if we're backing up as opposed to walking forward, but it'll put way more pressure on this Junkrat. We want to be getting out of here, don't get me wrong, but we want to actually put our pressure on this Junkrat. This Junkrat is going to be under more pressure. He's going to be more likely to miss. He's going to be on a timer. He's going to feel rushed because even if you're zapping him with 0 energy, he's got less than half health. And even if he had full health, you'd still want to be zapping him as you're backing away here. You'd also have the option to hit him with right clicks, which moves him around a little, which makes it harder to aim. Excuse me. Nope. We don't just run away and hope. That was a fine bubble. No! Here you go. You're here. You somehow are alive with 5 HP. I'm good with the bubble, but now turn and fight them. Like, you should be still backing out as you're fighting them because you have no health. You have literally 1 HP under this bubble. Okay, fine. You do that. Good. I'm glad the timing is working out for you, Congaboom.
I will never surrender.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Rendezvous group up at my position.
Join me. Group up.
Rendezvous at my position.
Okay.
Group up at my position.
So, I'm a little surprised that we didn't soak energy here. Here we are.
Rendezvous at my position.
And I can see it. I can see a grenade launching towards me. I can see Zarya trying to aim at me. Like, I could step left and bubble this. I'd get a Roadhog right click. I wouldn't get like tons and tons out of it, but I could easily get 40 energy out of this. Yeah, even that right there. There was easily 40 energy to be had there.
Group up at my position. Rendezvous at my position.
I assumed that's why you went up there in the first place, to get that energy. Also to, pressure them with right clicks on the way in, but hey, those are not remotely exclusive goals. Okay. You're trying to break that. Do you see that she's in? Okay. Sure. And now pull back a little. Good! Just like that. You go up, you get a little more aggressive because you have your bubble available. You see they look at you, start shooting at you. You pop your bubble, you get a nice 40 energy off of it, and as your bubble's fading, you tuck behind cover here. So we don't need to reopen the angle. What we need to do is we need to close the angle, and while the angle is closed, we shoot at these guys. And the angle that I'm referring to is the angle created by this. So you don't want to go back out here to fight them. You want to close the angle against them and fight these guys. So you're only fighting one direction at a time. Because if you're out here, or if you go even just a little bit out here, to fight these guys can shoot you. There's no way to stop these guys from shooting you right now that isn't a rotation, so we'll instead just do that and choose to fight these guys. Okay. Tuck right. Those are two questionable reloads in a row. No. Got trapped, it happens. Immediately bubbled, little more questionable. Yes, you're kind of weak, but the Junkrat's not looking at you, and you saw the trap get laid. You also saw that there's not a mine to go with the trap. So the only real question is, are there a bunch of people over here looking at you? And the answer is no. They're too far away to really be looking at you, and you can have the game sense to know that. And so you wouldn't actually pop this bubble unless you saw damage coming this way, spam, or this Junkrat turned around. But I'm getting picky there. I'm also going to get pretty picky right here. That Junkrat went up. You know you're not tracking him right now. Your weapon's not on him and you're spending ammo. You try there. You actually stayed on him better than I recall. Okay, that's fine. And you can get aggressive because you have your bubble available. Good. I don't love you crossing back left like this. So here you are, you have cover available to you on the right side, you're sort of using it, and then you decide to go left here. Why are we going left? Where we're more in the open, we don't have cover that we can tuck behind, and then we're doing this, I have to reload, I'm in the open, I don't have a bubble, I don't want this. You might ultimately want to end up in this position because you might think, hey, I want to have a slightly different angle than my Junkrat, which is a good instinct, but you choosing to try to get here when you don't have your bubble to help you if you get pressured, you wouldn't just automatically bubble to walk across, you'd bubble if you get pressured as you're walking across, and choosing to do it when you're going to have to reload so you can't even keep them honest with your weapon play? Okay. Why are you just dancing in the open? You bubble the brig, sure. And then you're pushing back out here and you have your bubble. I don't really want to push into this because this is a sim wall, and while it's true you can push because you have your bubble available, you're not pushing to try and get energy right now because you have 100, and it's going to be tough for you to get an elimination with this sim wall here. Like, you want to help your brig get out, sure, with some pressure on the Lucio, but you don't want to get too aggressive yourself right now. You're pretty happy to play from your cover. Always notice the reloads. The scarf gives 20/20 vision. Ah.
Bring it.
Yeah, you can't really melt the sim wall. It's not going to happen. If you had a bastion, sure, but you don't. Yeah, that's the grab that you're hitting. Okay, so here we are. You know your echoes in spawn. You throw the grab. It's going to get multiple people, which is nice, but you can't really bubble yourself to follow up on your grab. You're going to try to follow up on your grab, and your Brig has the cart between her and the grab, plus your bubble for her is a couple seconds out too, so you're not going to be a hard bubble her for it either. So this grab is in the territory of like, yeah, you could still win off this. I still expect you to win off this. It's not like, oh my god, top tier grab, but this is okay. Your Reinhardt misses. Then you get the bubble on Brig. Perfect. Good. Glad it worked out. Your Rein had pin, which, you know, does help. Meant he could get there a little bit faster. Okay. Go take high ground.
Flight routine activated.
Go take high ground. Go take high ground. Go take high ground.
Enemy radar contact.
Standing on the cart isn't what I meant. Okay, so what you actually wanted to do was take high ground and be like, aha, I'm defending from here, and if I have to, I'll drop and still be with my team. Failing that, you at least wanted to push up to here and be throwing right clicks to make them advance through your right clicks, because you'd wiped the other team, and they're going to have to come through here, or maybe through here, and you can be going right click, right click, right click, right click, right click, and you can get some pressure on them as you back away to start recharging that ult, to make them shoot at you, to maintain your energy. Like, that's really important. It's really important after one fight that you push up as Zarya and you put right-click pressure on the opponent. It'll cause them to shoot at you to help you maintain energy. It'll also start building you towards the next grabs, and it'll make their approach harder. It'll slow them down a little bit. So it does a lot of good things for you. You really do have to do it. Like, it's not an optional thing as Zarya. We don't melt her bubble if we're alone. I will happily not shoot at her bubble. She is not particularly weak right now, and I don't have anyone helping me take her down yet. Oh no. Oh no. Card equals 6 feet high ground. Not enough, Congaboom. Not enough.
I am not a good loser.
Enemy is reviving.
That Brig got surprisingly low for a rally going. When he's close, get the bubble on him. Get the good. No, no, no. We don't want to be in the middle of it. If there's enemies over here and enemies here, I'm happily going to take the enemies that are close, that I can deal with right here, as opposed to trying to reach for these enemies. I can't do enough about these enemies. I might like to get the Mercy, but I'm just going to happily melt this Junkrat that's right here before I push up. If I push up, I'm once again in this situation where I've got enemies pressing me from this direction and this direction, and I don't like that. Whereas I can relatively quickly solve this direction. I could even solve this direction now that I got my bubble on Ryan and can't help him anymore. I could even solve this direction by taking a step back here so the cart is walling me off from this direction so that this isn't a thing while I eliminate this Junkrat. And then I can open the angle back up, and now I'm only fighting one direction. A little bit of trigger discipline issue there, but not a big deal. Using Junkrat as your wall. Sadly not enough. You're not going to get out. Maybe you are. You could have, but you didn't. That's the worst of both worlds. Unfortunate.
Just like in training. Group up with me. Nailed.
Okay. Tuck right, tuck right. Right here. You've got a wall right here that you can play with. You have a different angle than your guys over here. You can play with this wall. You'd love it if your Reinhardt was a little more aggressive, or you had someone that would get more aggressive for you to go in to be in front of you to get bubbles off, but I don't want you back here. I'm perfectly happy with you right up here.
Get in there.
Could have, but you didn't. Story of my life. Fair enough.
Огонь по готовности.
Nice.
Check out this gun.
You'll have a bubble and you know it. Okay. You're kind of done now. You can do it anyways. That's fine. You have the support. No, 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 no. Why are we retreating this hard? You just wiped them. They're gone. They're gone. So, now we make their advance harder. It's true we don't have our bubble yet, so we won't be able to get energy off of making their advance harder, but we can still lob right clicks. We can lob right clicks that land right here. Right here. They're going to step into them. Or they're going to have to like stop and wait to intentionally hit the timing to get past them. Both of which are wins for us. Let's do it. Let's do that. Let's do that. And if they wait, that's more time to get your bubble back, which you can use to get more energy. Or at least maintain energy.
Привет.
They're getting one back.
The Rhine at first reacting to grab was good, then Rhine pinned into the checkpoint. Oh, that terrified me? Yeah. It's a silver bronze border, though, so we're going to see some terrifying things. Okay. Again, you could have had better pressure on them. There's very little reason you couldn't have been up here or even up here putting pressure on them with right clicks where you could actually see more accurately or predict more accurately, not even see where they were going to be. Now these are sort of blind, and you're not, like, you might get some damage, some ult charge out of this, and that's good, but you're not going to be maintaining your energy with any of these right clicks. And now they're too close for you to go out there and do things that can maintain your energy. Good. You know where they want to come through. I don't know why that last lob was so high. Fine.
Activated.
Great. That right click where that landed, that's also where your next right click should go. Right there. That's a good place for your right click. That is the place that they want to come through, and they're Valking. So there's pressure on them to walk through now, as opposed to spending time taking angles, So this Valk, plus knowledge of the map, helps you make your predictions of where they're going to walk, which helps you choose to aim your right clicks right here or just a tiny bit to the left of where you aimed this previous one, and you're going to keep firing those until something changes your prediction of where they're going to go. And if you wait long enough and they don't show up here, yes, your prediction might change to, hey, they might be coming this way, they might be coming this way. But there's pressure on them from their own Valk to be pushing in right now, and this is the spot that they can most easily push in through. So we're going to right click right here. No, that's too far. You see how that one, like that one had to hit something really only Hog. If Hog was walking up over, that might have hit him, but he wasn't, and that was the only one it was going to hit. We want this to be lower on the spot that we just talked about. And we don't want to reload here at 5 ammo. We want one more right click. We'll do full damage right into the same spot we talked about. That's going to miss, and I don't mind bad aim. Keeping track of a moving target is hard. I get it. But, like, we're not trying to aim at a moving target right now. We're trying to aim at a fixed spot. This spot is always in the same place. You can hit it. You can hit this spot. We're not aiming at a target. We're aiming at a spot that people are going to move into. I believe in your ability to hit it. Why did we... So, I get that they beated. And beated will frequently mean that they're going to push, especially if they're beating well Valking. But they're not actually here, and you know they're not here, because you know they haven't walked past the spot that we've marked. So we definitely wouldn't bubble our Reinhardt just in reaction to them beating. We'd bubble our Reinhardt in reaction to our Reinhardt actually being in range of swinging at the opponent, or Reinhardt actually getting hooked, or Reinhardt actually being walked into. The beats in Valk mean that the opponent should be walking into a Reinhardt, but they're not, and we know that. I don't think we needed that reload, did we?
Go.
Definitely didn't need that one. That's a cart. That's a cart again that we're shooting at. We need some trigger discipline here. Like, you do waste ammo. I thought I was calling it out earlier on the Junkrat, but you actually did better than I thought. This is you zapping a cart, and you know you're zapping the cart. You know that you're not on the hog. You can flick across faster, but you can also just let go of the mouse and then re-aim. Like, if you have to hit big flicks, hit the flick, but let go while you hit the flick and then start tracking again. And when you're tracking, do your beam. Okay. One more. Good.
Ready for battle.
You're done. You can't advance anymore. You've hit your personal bubble, and you're reloading. By the time your reload is over, you won't have personal bubble. Leave. Good. Why are you doing that? Clearly you want to bubble your Reinhardt, which is fine with me. You want to bubble Reinhardt. No problem. Why are we holding down left click? Why are we holding down left click as we go to bubble our Reinhardt? There's no reason for that. There's not. We don't just constantly hold down left click when we're playing Zarya. It's not like, bubble, back. We can be like, hey, I'm zapping the hog, I'm zapping the Lucio, whatever, I'm tracking, I'm doing the best I can. I let go to flick over, click on my Reinhardt, and I flick back. And then I hold left click down. I know it's a lot of things to do at once mentally, but like, it's okay. You can get this down one thing at a time where you just go, hey, when I'm hitting flicks, like tracking is when you're trying to follow a target as they're moving around. And you have to be a little predictive with it. Flicks are like, oh, I got off my target, or I need to move my crosshair a decent amount like this. So those are generally faster. Those are supposed to be faster movements. And during these flicks, I would like you to let go of your left click for your flicks, because you're generally acquiring a new target during your flicks like this, or you're catching back up to a target that got massively away from you. And we're just going to save you some ammo by doing that, which is helpful. Okay, but you got too aggressive. Totally get it. You don't have bubble, remember that. You're getting zapped from what, behind? Yeah, zapped from behind there. So, I understand, but you need to account for this. You need to go, hey, I'm taking damage from my left, I don't like it. Jeez, I am yawny today. Let's go over here to continue our work, because the supports aren't terribly dangerous to us. They have a somewhat non-dangerous support combination, as long as we stay away from the ledges. So let's walk ourselves over here, and then keep right-clicking at that Reinhardt. And then we can worry about the Zarya. We'd prefer to deal with one angle at a time. And you walked in deeper while you were reloading, when you could have just tucked back behind that pillar. The beam must always be on. Imagine the carbon footprint. I don't know. For all I know, there's some reactor here. For all I know, there's some plutonium reactor going here, and it's actually very efficient for the environment. The Mercy's using Valk like kinda well, to be honest. I mean, probably not, but she's using it, so that's a start. Is the fight where red team dumps every possible... Is this the fight where red team dumps every possible ult? Fair enough. Oh, hey, Blop. It's made from 100% recycled plutonium. There we go. Exactly. If you constantly right-click on top of the cart, that's 9 feet of high ground. Yeah, there you go. No.
Get in there.
Okay. Sure, I don't love that you're in the open.
Bring it.
Okay. So the thing is, now that you've used your bubble, where are you going to go? Because this bubble will be over in less than 2 seconds, and I want you to have safety when this bubble ends. So are you going to go, hey, I'm already working my way over to like here? Because this isn't going to be safe enough. Are you going, I'm working my way over to here? Where are you going to go with this bubble? Okay, well, if your Junkrat hits the tire, this is a safe enough spot. That's too far. That's a bad reload. When I say that's a bad reload, I know that there's opponents here. I can see the Lucio. I can see the Mercy Beam that tells me there's at least 2 heroes there, even if I can't tell that that's Lucio. I don't want to reload before rounding this corner because it takes too long. See how I'm still reloading? I'm still reloading and they can shoot at me. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Still reloading. Still reloading. Now I'm getting to fire. And I would have just much more happily spent my ammo shooting at them. It's literally been like, I'm going to spend my ammo shooting at you. I'm not going to lock myself into a reload and then be stuck. I'm going to spend this 32 ammo fighting you. Maybe I'll drain it down to like 8 or 6 ammo with left click and then finish the remaining ammo with a right click. And then I'll try to tuck back here for my reload. That's how we would have wanted to do this. But we didn't want to decrease our uptime by hitting that early reload, especially in their face.
More like it.
I assume this mortar player is the person who was playing Brig earlier, because they're just constantly in the front line.
Surrendered.
Yeah, they are. Nice. Nice body block. Fine. Didn't need to reload. You can fire another right click with 10 ammo. Full damage. Bubble. Good. And now leaves. Good. Sure, he's in deep enough. Don't get too aggressive. You don't have your own bubble. There's a threat to the left. Clear it. Clear it. Clear the threat to the left. Clear the threat to the left. We've talked about this quite a few times, and it's super relevant. Deal with this threat. Deal with the threat from this angle before pushing in deeper. Because if you push in deeper, if you walk further forward, that makes this 90-degree angle that the opponents have on you even steeper. Because then it ends up with you here, and this person transitions to here, and now they're shooting you from here, while the other team is shooting you from here. And that's even worse than the greater than 90-degree angle. Now it's a 180-degree angle that they have on you. Deal with this threat first. As a general rule in Overwatch, the team with more and bigger angles wins. You don't want to give them a bigger angle. You'd actually like to take away the biggest angle they have. The most isolated angle, the person who's the least secure is taking the most aggressive angle. That's who, in all other things being equal, you'd like to eliminate first. And I know your team is going this way, but you going this way will at least keep this person honest and quite possibly allow you to eliminate this person, which then gives you a super simple fight into this. And this person is way easier to eliminate than all the people up over there who are protecting each other, are together, have support, all that stuff. Good. The reloads. The reloads. You get charge grab. You're gonna grab it soon. Grab it. Junk's the right target. That's fine. You could have actually danced around that pillar. Don't reload. Go for the mini. Go for the mini. Why? Okay. It was a long time to go out of that fight to not get the health back. It's fine. Okay. Dealing with the angled threats is going to be one of the big things for you. You've got plenty good enough grabs for this level, but you are definitely going to have to get a better understanding of dealing with the angled threats rather than walking yourself into more trouble, which you've shown a bit of a propensity to do. So please deal with the people on the off angles before opening yourself up to new threats. Please be like, hey, if there's enemies here, and I can get cover, and my team is here, and I can get cover against one set while fighting the other set, great, I'm going to do that. If not, if there's more enemies over here, more enemies up here, I'm going to try to deal with the enemy on the off angle first and either eliminate them or make them return before I push in here, because I don't want to get pushed by this way and this way. Yes, we're using a lot of arrows, and I'm not changing colors, so maybe it's a little harder to follow. But that's like the biggest thing that we're going to want you to work on. The next thing, other things that we are probably going to want you to work on are going to be, hey, pay a little bit more attention to your reloads there. That's still probably going to be less important, though, than your right-click pressure. Like, the two bigger things are going to be the off angles and the right-click pressure. Specifically, denying the opponents the off angles, burning them to get them off of it. You are an off tank. That is your job. Zarya does it a little differently than D.Va does, but you're still going to do it in the off angles that I've talked about on my way through here. And the right clicks. When your team has control of the objective, like let's say you win first point and you go push here and the enemy team's trying to push back, you want to push ahead and get your right click damage done. Make them advance through your right clicks while still getting out alive so that you can maintain the Zarya snowball. Those are the sort of the three things that I want to comment on right now. I might not give you those specific three things to work on at the end of this VOD, but those are definitely in the orbit of possibilities. Okay. You can bubble him. Little do-si-do bubble. Okay. Sure. Right click. Right click. No, that's not a right click. You can 7 ammo right click Lucio just fine. You have the bubble, you can do this. Oh well. You can do this assuming you don't step in a trap, might have been the more appropriate way to say that.
Век живи, век учись. Join me.
Okay. You can do the same thing. They're going to feed you. They're going to feed you. Just don't step in a Junkrat trap. You can totally have gotten yourself a pure poke greed personal bubble now. Just going to get wiped out. It's going to be one of these games. Okay. No, no, you don't need to poke anymore. You can put the pressure now, sure. So your job right now, we can tell that your team is about to stagger for the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds. They're about to stagger, so you need to do everything you can to prevent that. So what can you do to prevent that? Well, you can try to make yourself set at any moment. For anything that looks like it could turn into a reasonable push, you want to turn into a reasonable push. You want to go, we have 6 people alive. I want to already have enough energy and have bubble cooldowns to allow my team to push. Like I don't want my team to have to wait for me to go through an energy cycle. I also don't want my team to have to wait for me to have projected bubble when my Reinhardt's ready. Like, this is this thing where you have to drive this very carefully so that you maintain energy, and anytime your Reinhardt and team are alive and therefore you might be able to make a push, you have this available. Because they're going to keep staggering, they're going to keep getting eliminated by hooks and Junkrat spam coming downhill and sim orbs. Like, they're going to get eliminated repeatedly. At least that's what this feels like at this moment in time. So you need to go, okay, I'm going to be ready. It's very easy for me to maintain charge off of this Junkrat, very easy for me to get charge off of these Roadhog hooks. So I want to make sure that I'm doing that. That I'm in this situation where basically when my Reinhardt is down or when people are down, I'm using my bubbles to get energy somewhat greedily, but making sure I don't get eliminated. And when my Reinhardt isn't down or when we're going to be close to having everyone alive, I'm actually holding on to my bubbles so that I have them either to enable my Reinhardt to actually push or to stop the Roadhog hook on someone so that um, we don't lose our opportunity to push because you're not going to get very many opportunities to push. Your team is going to stagger. Like, I could be wrong, but that's what this feels like based on what I'm looking at here from the last minute of gameplay. And obviously, any grabs that you can charge are good. Don't just grab willy-nilly. Try to grab into a situation where it's really going to be a, hey, we have 5 people alive, something like that, and we can actually get eliminations off this and break it off of this. Because you're not going to get very many good chances. You're really going to have to capitalize on the chance you get. Yeah, like this you'd grab if you had him. You missed the bubble. This is over. You can farm energy. This is what I was talking about. If you actually do want to be using your bubbles to farm energy, because it's going to be a bit before you have your team back, and you want to have energy. Get out. Get out. You use your bubble. We don't want you to get hooked and reset. That would be terrible. No, you can't be pushing with your bubble. You need to be backing out once you've used your bubble like this. I know your bubble's still active, but when your bubble ends, you're going to be caught in the open against a hog that, you know, hogs are scary. No! No. This was a winnable game. I don't know. Maybe you still go on to win this game, but like, you see how if you'd had Grav last push, you'd have won the point right there. Even after you lost your Reinhardt, you could have stepped to the left and thrown it while you still had 5 people up, and you'd have been fine. Step to the left of the sim barrier. Like, that was one option. You could have also done it here a little earlier when both of the Reins were weak. But you don't get very many chances. Like, I know this is frustrating to push into, but there are chances to break this. And you've just given up the opportunity to have that chance. You gave up the opportunity by playing dangerous and playing fast and loose when you didn't have a bubble and you had 100 energy, and it's like, what are you doing? You're risking resetting yourself here. But B, you've spent your grav, and now if there's any time in the next, it's going to take you 2 minutes to build another grav. Yeah, probably going to take you 2 minutes to build another grav. If there's any chance where grav would have been the difference maker, you're going to feel really silly. And guess what? There's very likely to be a situation where it would have been. Got beat at least. You have 57 HP and 80 energy. Don't peek. Don't peek! Don't peek! Oh my goodness, a single grenade, a single sim orb, anything would have taken you down there.
Maximum charge.
Unfortunately, we didn't have very much communication in our team, which would have been helpful. We do not win at all. Okay. And that's fair, Kyle. Like, there wasn't communication, but you didn't need communication to know that your team wasn't alive and your team couldn't follow up on that grav. You can see it in the feed. You can see that, oh, wait, my teammates have been eliminated. Or you can press tab and see, oh, my teammates aren't even alive. Like, that grab, painful. Your other grabs have been pretty good, but that grab was painful.
Bring it.
You're doomed.
Maximum charge.
Really? They're gonna let you out with 29 HP? There we go.
Just like in training.
To be honest, never play Zarya. You're bad at her. Usually play Ryan, but I figure I'd play Zarya because your teammate is already Ryan. Yeah, that's fine. The angle!
We've got
This is the main thing that we focused on this VOD. There's a Roadhog to your right. There's enemies in front of you and there's Roadhog to your right. You need to go over here and force back the Roadhog first. Fight the Roadhog off. Put this car between you and the opponents and fight the Roadhog off first before going this way. It's important. It's very
That's all
important.
we've
You might
got.
not even have seen or heard the Roadhog, but it's very important. You're putting yourself in a situation. He's backing off naturally, which is he doesn't have to do. He's going to punish you again here. He could have punished you just fine with right clicks from here, though. Ugh. Okay,
Ready for battle.
sure. Did you have to do that? I don't think you did. Oh yeah, you did. Who are you zapping? You're actually just trying to bubble, but you're holding down this left click while looking to see if you had to bubble her, and it's burning ammo.
60 seconds remaining.
You don't have a personal. This is pretty aggressive for not having a personal. Why? Why? I was perfectly happy with you back here. If your team is over here, or you're over here, you've got a little bit of an angle, you can go from here, you can threaten from here. This was better. I spend a lot of time talking about taking away your opponent's angles. Naturally, you having your angle was good. If taking away angles from our opponents is something that's worth doing, having angles ourselves, even if they're small angles, is pretty good. That wasn't. Why was that not a personal? You're walking into a spot that's taking spam. You probably didn't have this frame because, you know, yeah, I get it. I have a pause button, you don't. But like, oh, that's a Junkrat mine. Yeah, I'm walking into a place that I expect them to be spamming. I see a mine. I'm absolutely pressing my bubble. Oh, and I'd have gotten a sim thing too? Sweet. Probably the second sim thing and a Roadhog right click too. Yep, I mean, the bubble would have broken by now, but easy 40 energy bubble. You have gotten some low HP bubbles off. Nothing tops the 1 HP bubble that you got off, but you've got some low HP bubbles off. Temporal's Guide to Pressing Tab. Oh, I suppose I should have been looking harder for your chance to win with grab. I mean, it's a little hard because you're making these situations so aggressive before they need to be.
Give me another shot.
Moira's given up. Moira has given up and shifted to blame shifting mode. Okay. Typing at someone furiously, I'm sure. Yeah, 2 minutes for the next draft. Okay. So here's the thing. What you probably feel like you want is advice on how to have won here. How to have gotten past this first choke and won as Zarya. And I can give that to you. That would have helped for this specific match. That's not actually what helps your Zarya the most. This is a situation that you should understand, though. When you're just getting shut down because, hey, everyone's feeding, trickling, whatever, what you need to do is what I've always spent some time talking about and what I think you joined the VOD and were able to catch live, which is you need to go, I'm Zarya, my team is going to trickle into here. What I need to do the best I can is when my team's not going to be ready to push because 2 people are in spawn, 3 people are in spawn, someone just got eliminated, my Reinhardt literally just got eliminated. I want to use both of my bubbles as greedily as possible, like personal bubble, team bubble. I want to use these as greedily as possible for energy. I'm not looking to soften up the team a bit, though I'll do that to get them to put pressure on my team, which they'll do anyway, so I don't really have to. And I'll do it to get my grab charge, but I'm looking to maintain a high energy as possible when my team is eliminated without getting myself reset. So I'm looking to use these bubbles greedily for energy when I know my team can't push for a good 8 to 10 seconds. When someone on my team, especially my Reinhardt, just got eliminated, I'm looking to get my bubbles on to cooldown. But when my Reinhardt is alive and when I have like 4 or 5 people on my team alive in general, and one of them is Reinhardt, then I'm looking to go, this could potentially turn into a real push at any moment. We're not going to get perfect push opportunities, but we're going to get something resembling them, and I want to make sure that I either save those by bubbling people that are about to get eliminated because they got hooked, slept, whatever, or that I have my bubble to enable the Reinhardt to actually try to make a push into all this crud that is the sim, junk spam, roadhog spam, all of that stuff. So like your bubble strategy shifts depending on the status of your team so that you have maximum power available. What you're trying to do is you're trying to store power in the battery that is your hero. You're trying to store power both in the form of energy and ult charge for, and then let's go like that, I guess, for when you have something that happens to look like it could be a reasonable push. You assume that in 2 or 3 minutes, you're going to get 1, maybe 2 decent pushes, and you better be ready for that push. You better be ready for that push. You better have high energy. You better have your bubble available. You better have the bubble to save the person that, the push was going to be canceled because the Roadhog got hooked. Or, we're trying to push, but we can't because we're waiting for your personal or your projected bubble to help Ryan. Nope, not good enough. You got to be ready for it. That's how you actually try to eke wins out of this type of game where it's just hard to push into. And there was opportunities. If you hadn't wasted your grav, you probably would have found a grav in those next 2 minutes. You didn't, but part of why you didn't is because you were playing so aggressively the rest of the time, which didn't need to be the case. You weren't really helping your team well with this be ready for the opportunity strategy. But this isn't actually what I'd want to cover for this game. Even though this could have helped win this specific game, this isn't what's going to make you better. What's going to make you better as a Zarya player and as a Reinhardt player, but as a Zarya player, is understanding I don't want to challenge 2 different directions at once. I want to put myself in a situation where I can force the person on the off angle to leave or get eliminated. That's what I want to do. I want to make them rejoin so that we can then only deal with 1 angle at a time. The team with more and bigger angles tends to win, so you should remove their person on the off angle. If you can eliminate them, great. If you can't, make them leave. Even if your team is pushing forward, you can be like, hey, Reinhardt, here's a bubble. Now I'm going to turn and deal with this. Reinhardt, here's your bubble. As you push forward, I'm going to turn and deal with this guy, even though you're dealing with these guys up here. I've already sent my value forward in my bubble to my Reinhardt. Now I'm going to make this person leave. And when this person leaves, now I can push forward and join. That's what you want to do. Like, this is a really big deal. This is really important. So, like, this is something I want you to pay attention to. Clear the off angles. If you don't, as you go in, they punish you and your team from behind with a greater and greater angle, and you're just going to get wrecked. Or you'll go in, and then this person will be able to keep out your supports. He'll step forward, he'll keep out your supports back here, and your supports won't be able to keep your Reinhardt alive. And that'll also make you unhappy, or you alive. So please deal with the off angles and pay attention to the off angles. That's going to be the first thing. The second thing is going to be your defensive right-click game. And defense doesn't strictly mean defense. You can do it after a one fight too. If you won first, you now have control of the objective, and you can push ahead and make them walk through right-clicks. Or, they want to walk out to contest the cart, make them walk through right clicks. Push a little bit ahead and make them walk through right clicks. You don't have to go like right up to their spawn to not let them out, but go set up ahead of the cart so that you can hit right clicks and then retreat and hit some more right clicks and maybe retreat and hit some more right clicks. Whatever you've got to do there so that you get out alive. You don't get caught by roadhog hooks. You don't get caught by snipers, things like that. But you want to get some right clicks that they have to walk through, even if you only hit 1 in 4 of those, 1 in 5 of those right clicks. That'd be a little low, but even if you're only hitting that, you're getting some value as long as you're then getting out alive. That is slowing them down, that is building you some more ult charge, that is getting them to shoot at you during the between fight phase, which is helping you maintain your energy, because if it's enough in the between fight phase, you can use your personal. This is important for Zarya. I don't usually go over it with bronze Zaryas, but this is important for Zarya. Okay, and then you've got a reload issue. Notice your reloads. Obviously, notice your reloads. You go, hey, wait, I'm reloading when I have shots left, and Zarya has a pretty long reload, so I shouldn't really do that unless there wouldn't actually be any targets available to me for the full duration of her reload, and that's not the case with you. You do lots of 8 ammo, 25 ammo, 75 ammo reloads where you could have easily kept throwing right clicks. You could have easily spent the remaining 38 ammo melting someone rather than reloading in their face. Things like that. Things like that. So if you or anyone else has questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat now. If people are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all of that good stuff. Okay, let's see. I think game sense is my biggest issue. Multiple times I've ignored enemies I could have punished in this game. Yep. So specifically, look to the sides. That's what I want you to do. I want you to look to the sides. I know if you attack specifically, it could have been like maybe a bit more grasp of when your teammates are alive for that grab. But most of your grabs were pretty okay, so I'm less worried. It's specifically going to be look to deal with stuff on the angles there. Be aware of them. Everyone was mauling at the poor Anna, but I was probably the one who could have gotten the win, not her. I mean, anyone could have gotten the win. You had opportunities, sure, but that's not to say that Anna couldn't force fight wins. That's not to say that Ryan couldn't force fight wins. Yeah, yeah. You also had a very aggressive Brig in a situation where I'm not even sure they should have been playing Brig. Then they were later on Moira, but they were pretty darn aggressive on Moira too. Yeah. But we're not trying to figure out whose fault it was or oh blah blah blah. We're trying to figure out how to make you better. If you wanted to try to win this game, yes, it would have been on your offense, and we talked quite a bit about how to do that. But if you want to get better, there's actually more important things to pick apart from your defense that'll help you in more games, not just in these few games where how do I turn these probable losses into less probable losses, but instead how do I do these things that are actually going to win me more of the on the fence games. Because this was a probable loss unless you broke their choke here, and breaking their choke you had the opportunity to do so, but this deck was tilted a bit against you, and that's fine. I feel like I did better in the beginning of the round on defense than on offense. Sure. Forget Kyle's reloads. Are we wearing a scarf? Where do we live? Antarctica. I love your show. I feel like I'm learning a lot from this. Thank you, Joshua. I'm glad you enjoy the show. As for where am I? I am in California. So, yes, I am wearing a scarf in California. It's actually not too warm right now, but last week was pretty rough. I make these mistakes like Kyle does all the time. Now I think my problem is that I make tons of small mistakes rather than just big ones. Probably both. You should submit a gameplay code. You can throw it up in freebie hopefuls and just hope I grab it. No promises. You can, and that would be in my Discord that you can find that, or you can do the paid section. And if you want to do paid, of course, I will review your stuff. That is the model that we have here for this channel. Thank you both. No problem. The scarf is Temporal's brand. Yeah, the scarf is part of the brand. Okay, I think that's going to do it. Remember, if you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, and we're going to go ahead and call it here. Thanks. Temporal out.